For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Rick, you'll be pleased to know we've already had some responses, and Simon and Mark have already emailed us in this link to something that was on the BBC News website. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's a remarkable story. Lion mutilates 42 midgets in Cambodian ring fight. That's just the headline.
That's a hell of a headline. That makes me want to know more about the story.
Well, that's what
a headline should do.
Spectators cheered as entire Cambodian midget fighting league squared off against African lion. Tickets had been sold out 3 weeks before the much-anticipated fight. The fight was organised when an angry fan contested Yang Shamoni, president of the CMFL, claiming that one lion could defeat his entire league of 42 fighters. Well, the fight was ended, Rick, after only 12 minutes, after which 28 of the midget fighters were declared dead.
Right.
While the other 14 suffered severe injuries, including broken bones, lost limbs, and they were basically unable to fight.
But the lion wasn't hurt?
It would have seemed that the lion was okay.
Oh, good. Well, that's amazing.
Carl, what are your thoughts instantly? I mean, you're bound to have a take on that.
See, what's annoying me is I've sent money to Cambodia because apparently they're hungry and haven't got any energy. So what's going on?
Well, it's much easier to fill up a midget than it is a regular Cambodian. You know, they're
I just
happy
feel
on
like
a Mars bar.
I'm being cheated a bit.
You were conned before with a charity, weren't you?
Well, a few times, yeah.
What about the old lady? What was that?
I got stopped, and it's like they sort of drag you in by saying, "Have you got a gran?" And I said, "No, they died," and that. It's like, "Oh, did they die of the cold?" No, she's, ill. What have you? Just old age. He said, "Well, what happens with a lot of people's grans is they die in the cold, right?" So I was like, "Oh, that's bad, isn't it?" Anyway, so she's chatting and she's showing me pictures of these old women who look cold, right? Saying, "Look at her, that's Edna. She's got no family. She can't pay the bills and all that."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh yeah." Anyway, it goes on for about 15 minutes, and you feel bad. You give them your bank details, right? And what happens is every couple of months you get a letter from Edna. Well, it's not from her; it's typed up and what have you. But there's a picture of Edna, right? And it's saying, "Oh, this December, Edna's going to be extra cold. It's cold outside. She can't afford to pay the heat and what have you."
Yeah.
Keep going, right? So you keep paying every month like £5, whatever. Get another letter a few months later, right? Edna's sat there. She's got a tan.
What do you mean she's got a tan?
Well, when they said, she's cold, I thought they meant for the heating, not to send her on holiday for a month. She sat there with a tan. I'm not joking.
Are you sure it wasn't just a slight problem in the printing?
No, definitely.
Sure,
she looked well happy.
Sure, it wasn't liver failure.
You see, when does it become bad to avoid people like that? Do you know what I mean? Because some people say you shouldn't. They're people like us who've just had a bit of bad luck.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah, I know, but I remember one on our estate, right? And she was a bit. What's the word that you can use? Because I don't want to offend anyone. But I'd say but sort of mental homeless. Is that a term?
That's the official term.
I think that is the
new official term. It's mental homeless-itis.
Right. So she lived on the estate and what have you, and she aged.
How was she homeless if she lived on the estate?
Well, she sort of decided to stay around there because I think people on the estate spoke to her more than people who had money. So this mental homeless woman on the estate, and what she used to do, right? She acted quite normal, and she used to always push like a pram around with her, right? And everyone was like, "She can't have a kid, can she?" Right? And she was dead happy every day. She was up and down, walking up and down the road. Anyway, one day she sort of walked past, right? Turned round and looked in the pram. There's a bucket with a face on it.